To build a functional quantum computer, human engineers rely on massive, sterile structures that require extreme cold and perfect isolation to operate. They must prevent decoherence, the process where the slightest thermal heat or environmental vibration instantly destroys the fragile quantum entanglement required for processing. In contrast, the human brain operates at 37 degrees Celsius. It is soaked in water and constantly buzzes with the chaotic electrical signals of billions of neurons. This creates a scientific paradox. Our understanding of physics suggests that biological environments should violate every rule required for quantum mechanics to function. Resolving this contradiction requires us to view the brain as a highly resilient technology that has evolved to thrive in environments where human-made machines fail. In 2000, physicist Max Tegmark calculated that quantum superpositions in the brain would collapse in a 100 trillionth of a second. This mathematical proof became known as Tegmark's wall, leading most scientists to dismiss the idea of quantum consciousness as physically impossible. But the calculation relied on the assumption that biology was attempting to function like a sterile, isolated computer. Researchers discovered a regime called noise-assisted quantum transport. In this state, biological systems actually use thermal fluctuations to push quantum energy along optimal pathways. Evolution spent billions of years harnessing environmental chaos as the primary engine for maintaining quantum coherence. Consider a whirlpool. It only exists because of the continuous, chaotic flow of water. Biological quantum coherence works the same way. It is a structure maintained by the constant throughput of metabolic energy. This energy fuels the creation of Posner molecules, clusters of calcium and phosphate that act as the biological hardware's quantum memory drives. The Posner molecule possesses a precise three-fold rotational symmetry. This geometry acts as a physical shield, protecting the entangled phosphorus nuclear spins inside from the disruptive thermal noise of the surrounding cell. This is the geometric constraint principle. It suggests that precise nanoscale architecture, rather than extreme cooling, is how life preserves quantum information. This architecture extends to microtubules, the structural scaffolds inside neurons that are organized in uniform, parallel cylinders. This cylindrical shape allows microtubules to function as spintronic oscillators. These are devices that use the spin of electrons or nuclei to generate synchronized wave-like oscillations through constructive quantum interference. Physicist Roger Penrose, who later won the Nobel Prize, proposed microtubules as the seat of quantum consciousness, decades before we could observe their quantum behavior. The network expands to the myelin sheaths insulating our nerves, which serve as the brain's active entanglement factories. Within the myelin, carbon-hydrogen bonds interact to entangle entangled biphotons, pairs of light particles that remain quantum mechanically linked across distance. The brain continuously fabricates and shields this macroscopic quantum network, driven by the metabolic energy of a living body. Because this quantum network is built and maintained by metabolism, its coherence depends entirely on the body's physical health. Nutritional inputs like phosphates, calcium, and B vitamins are the direct substrates required to build Posner molecules and fuel the metabolic pump. Deep sleep, fasting, and exercise improve mitochondrial efficiency, which in turn provides the energy needed to drive Fröhlich condensation, a state where biological proteins vibrate in a single coherent quantum mode. When this metabolic system is impaired, the entanglement network becomes fragmented. We experience this physically as brain fog or depression. Lithium's success in psychiatry further links these fields. Different lithium isotopes, atoms with the same element but different nuclear spins, physically alter the quantum dynamics inside Posner molecules, changing how the brain processes information. By linking these specific metabolic functions to quantum coherence, it becomes clear that mental health care and lifestyle medicine function as a physical system of entanglement network maintenance. If consciousness is maintained by this metabolic pump, we have to ask what happens to the entanglement structure when that pump stops at death. When the heart stops, oxygen delivery ceases, and the energy driving the macroscopic quantum network begins to fail. However, the geometrically shielded Posner molecules do not decohere instantly. They can retain their quantum entanglement for tens of minutes after the heart stops. This timeline matches the reports of near-death experiences. The sensation of expansion and unity is the subjective experience of the geometric constraints failing and the local network dissolving into the background. While the biological hardware expires, the quantum no-deletion theorem suggests that quantum information cannot be destroyed. The pattern of entanglement simply disperses. Consciousness is the internal experience of a sophisticated 3.5 billion-year-old technology. The vessel eventually fails, but the underlying pattern is forever conserved.